धीरा धीरा जन प्रेरणा कृष्ण कृपा भरौ भुवि भुव मारव अंतरक वंदे रूप सनातन रघुजुगौ श्रीजी
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, am I clearly audible, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Dandvat Pranam. Please accept our observations.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Radha Govinda Goswami Niti Namine Namaste Prabhupada Devam Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Gramya Jananistarine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadesatarine Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So we are in Canto 1. So we have completed prayers by Queen Kunti. And in this section, we started our discussion by referring to Sutta Goswami. Srila Sutta Goswami, he is speaking to the sages in Naimisharanya. The topic started with Parikshito Tharajarshe Janma Karma Vilapanam Samsthang cha Pandaputranam Bakshi Krishna Kathodayam. So he narrated that I am going to speak about the birth and activities of Maharaj Parikshit. Also, Samsthang cha Pandaputranam, the attainment of liberation by sons of Pandu. Why Sutta Goswami brought this topic? Bhakti Krishna Kathodayam. When we speak about the birth, activity, and the deliverance of the Pandavas, the topic gives rise to Krishna Katha. And in that section, we have heard how Mother Uttara received the mercy from Krishna in form of her baby Parikshit being saved from the attack of Brahmastra weapon of Ashwatthama. And then following which we saw Queen Kunti offering prayers where he spoke about actually Krishna Lila, how Krishna descends to this world, Maya Javanika Channam Agyan Akshidamapyam, no Lakshasya Mudhadrisha. Those whose vision is hindered by Maya, they cannot see Krishna. Whereas Krishna comes to this world, Bhakti Yoga Vidhanartham, to increase the devotion of his devotees. So in that way, he also remembered how in different occasions Krishna protected them, Vishal Mahagni Purushad Darshana. Also, she also spoke about the pastime when Krishna was bound by Mother Yashoda, Gopya Dadeturi Kritagashidamatavar. In this way, the merciful protection of Krishna unto the Pandava were remembered by Mother Kunti. So in that way, that is also a form of Krishna Katha. So now, having completed the prayers by Queen Kunti, we discussed when Maharaj Yudhishthir, he became the king of Hastinapur, he was not happy. There was a lot of confusion in him. He was totally bewildered. And when he was consoled by the different rishis, including Vedavyas and all, he was not ready to accept the position of being the king of Hastinapur. And if somebody consoled him by saying, it is the duty of a king to give protection to the subject, sometimes it is necessary to fight with the enemies. But he said, no, I was not the king. Duryodhana was the king. He was ruling. Then if somebody said, okay, if you have done this killing, you have killed so many people in the battle of Kurukshetra. So you can perform Ashwamedha sacrifice by which you can become freed from this sinful reaction, because that is the recommendation of the Veda. Then Yudhishthira says, no, no, no. How can I clean this? Just like he is giving an analogy. He's saying, Jatha pankena pankambha surayava surakritam. How can it be? It is not possible to filter muddy water through mud or purify a wine stand pot with wine. This is where the rejection of Vedic statements by Maharaj Parikshit shows his impudence. So in that way, Yudhishthira Maharaj is now not happy. He needs further counseling. Therefore, Sutta Goswami continues in chapter 9, where we're going to discuss the passing away of Bhishmadev in the presence of Lord Krishna. Likewise, previous chapters, in this chapter, beginning, Srila Sridhar Swami, he writes the summary of this chapter. Yudhishthiraya Bhishmena Sarvadharma Nirupanam Krishna Stutischa Muktischa Navame Tasya Varnyate Yudhishthiraya Bhishmena Sarvadharma Nirupanam. So in this chapter, we will hear instructions from Bhishmadev to Maharaj Yudhishthira regarding all types of religious activities like Varna Dharma, Ashrama Dharma, Dana Dharma, Bhagavat Dharma, Moksha Dharma, Stri Dharma, etc. Everything in detail. Vairagya Ragapadibhyam, Amnata Bhayalakshanam, that we will see what have been described in the Vedas as Vairagya Dharma and Raga Dharma, means Nivritti Dharma and Pravritti Dharma, the path of renunciation, the path of enjoyment. So all these principles of Dharma will be clearly explained by Bhishmadev to Maharaj Yudhishthira. That is one person which is also very elaborately discussed in Mahabharata, Anusasana Parva and Shanti Parva. Those who want to know more about it, they can refer to Mahabharata. Anyway, here at a glance, we will hear from Bhishmadev. And then Krishna Stutischa Muktischa Navame Tasya Varanyate. And in this 9th chapter, there are two other subjects have been described. Bhishmadev will offer his prayers to Krishna, and also after he completes his prayers, he will attain liberation. So now, Sutta Goswami, he continues, text number 1, chapter 9, canto 1, chapter 9, text number 1. Sutta Vacha Iti Bhita Prajadrohat Sarva Dharma Vivitsaya Tato Vinasanam Praga Tatra Jatra Devo Vato Patat. Sutta Goswami said, being afraid for having killed so many subjects on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Maharaj Yudhishthira went to the scene of the massacre. There, Bhishmadev was lying on a bed of arrows, about to pass away. So we have been hearing how after Kurukshetra battle, Maharaj Yudhishthira was feeling dejected, having killed so many people in Kurukshetra battle. So now Krishna wanted him to receive instruction from Bhishmadev. That's how he wanted to glorify his devotees. So now Maharaj Yudhishthira is going to Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra is a big field. Where he is going? Jatra Deva Vata Patat. Where Bhishmadev was lying on the bed of arrows. Because he needs to hear from Bhishmadev. Text number 2. Tada te bhratara sarve sadasvai swarna bhushitahi anvagachan rathai vipra vyaso dhumyadayas tatha. So now the entire journey of the Pandavas to meet with Bhishmadev is being described. Tadate bhatara sarve sadasvai swarna bhushitahi. Not only Yudhishthira Maharaj went alone to meet with Bhishmadev, but he was accompanied by his brothers, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahdev. Even, Draupadi, Kunti, they came. How? Sadasva Isvarana Bhushite. They mounted on the chariot. That chariot was decorated with gold ornaments and many other jewels, and drawn by very powerful horses, good horses, Sad Aswai, first class horses. They are pulling the chariot. Anvagachan Rathai Vipra Vyasa Dhumyadaya Statha. And with them there were Vyasa and rishis like Dhamya and others. So all these rishis, his brothers, they all came to meet with Bhishmadev. Bhagavan api viprashe rathena sa dhananjaya satairbhyarochata nrvaha kubera iva guihakai. Krishna is very interesting person. He is also there. He is also coming with him. He could not console him. Now he is also bringing him to Vishwadev. You see how Krishna deals with the devotee. That's how Vishwadev is going to tell you. Asyanubhava Bhagavan Veda Guhyatamam Shiva. Who can understand the desire of Krishna. That's how devotees should kind of try to just simply focus their attention on to the desire of Krishna. Anyway, we'll discuss that. So Krishna came, Bhagavan api viprasya rathena sadhananjaya. So, says amongst the Brahmanas, Sutta Goswami says, Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, also followed seated on a chariot with Arjuna. He has not given up Arjuna yet. He is coming with Arjuna. Thus, King Yudhishthira appeared very aristocratic like Kuvera surrounded by his companions, Guihakas. That means it's Rakshasas who follow the Kuver. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is going in a very respectable manner. That is the point. Now he is a king. He has to go with pomp. So being followed by Krishna, his brothers, he was looking like just like Kuver is accompanied by his associates. Drishtva nipatitam bhumam divaschutamiva naram pranemo pandava vismam sanuga sahachakrina. When they all arrived near Bhishmadev, the Yudhishthira Maharaj and all his brothers, Kunti, everybody, they offered their obeisances to Bhishmadev. And what happens? Krishna bowed down before him. Lord Krishna also. See, Prabhupada writes in the purport, Lord Krishna was also a younger cousin of Maharaj Yudhishthira as well as the intimate friend of Arjuna. But all the family members of Pandavas knew Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord, although conscious of his supreme position, always behaved in a humanly custom. And so he also bowed down before the dying Bhishmadev as if he were one of the younger brothers of Yudhishthira. Krishna is a perfect, person. You cannot find any flaw in his behavior. He knows exactly how to behave in which circumstance. That's how when some materialists see Krishna's behavior, they are confused. Oh, how come he is Supreme Personality of God? Oh, if he is Supreme, he is the controller of everybody. He is the topmost person. Then why he is offering obeisance to Bhishma? That means there is something wrong in him. Yes, his behavior is going to confuse you because Jasyana Bhava. His anubhava cannot be understood by just anyone, my dear devotees. Anyway, Krishna, along with the Pandavas, also offered obeisances to Bhishma. Tatra brahmarshaya sarve devarshayascha sattama rajarsayascha tatrasan drashtum bharatapungavam. So now, very interesting point is being described by Srila Sudha Goswami. Even though there was no announcement that the great personality like Vishnudev, who is a Mahajan, going to speak about different religious principles, and Maharaj Yudhishthir, who is the king now, going to listen these instructions from him. What a great talk. So even though there was no announcement, but still somehow other these rishis, these Brahmarshis, Devarshis, and Rajarshis, these are all big titles, big people. They all came to listen the speech by Vishnudev. Bharatapungavam. Who is speaking? The chief of the Bharata Vamsa. Just to see the chief of the descendant of King Bharata, all the great souls in the universe, namely the rishis among the demigods, brahmanas, and kings, all situated in the quality of goodness, were assembled there. Never to be taken Vishnu's position ordinary. He is a very highly elevated person and he knows what he is going to speak. Just imagine Vishnudev, if he is not conversant with the dharma of Rajarsi, Brahmarshis, and Devarshis, how he is going to speak. And you will see when it comes to speaking, this is the sign of the great soul. Without compromise, they tell the truth. They speak with authentic references from Shastra. So now Vishnudev is not going to feel shy when it comes to instructing Maharaj Yudhishthir because he is Mahajan. So who are these rishis? They came there. The names of the different personalities have been counted in text number 6 and 7. Parvato Narado Dhamya Bhagavan Badarayana. Parvata Muni, Narad Muni, Dhamya, Bhagavan Badarayana. Who is Badarayan? Vyasadeva. Brihadvasva Bharadvaja Sasishya Renuka Sutaha. Brihadvas Bharadvaj and Sasishya Renuka Suta. Renuka Suta is Parshuram. So here when it is said Sasishya, it is to be understood that all these great rishis like Parvata Muni, Narad Muni, Dhamya, Vyasdev, they all came with their respective disciples. This is a very important point. That a guru, when he sees that there is a big ceremony going on, discussion about Krishna going on, and he doesn't only go alone, he comes with his disciples. This is the tradition you can see here in Bhagavata. Vasishtha Indra Pramadostrito Vritsa Madositaha Kakshivan Gautama Trischa Kaushikotha Sudarshana. All the sages like Parvata Muni, Narada, Dhamya, Vyasa, the incarnation of God, Brihadvasa, Bharadwaj, and Parshuram, and his disciples. Vasishtha, Indrapramada, Trita, Lutsamada, Asita, Pakshivan, Gautama, Atri, Kaushika, and Sudarsana are present. So Prabhupada is giving narration about each personality. So we are not going to discuss. You can read on your own. And who are Anye cha munaya brahmadayo mala Shishairupeta jagmuh kasya pangirasadaya. So who all came there? And many others like Sukadev Goswami and other purified souls, Kashyap and Angirasa. Angirasa means that's the Brihaspati actually. And others, all accompanied by their respective disciples arrived there. Great person, Vishmadev is going to speak. He is the speaker. So all these people, they came along with their respective disciples to hear the speech. 9, text number 9. Tan sametan mahabhagan upalabhya vasuttamah pujayamasa dharmagyo desa kala vibhagavid. When Bhishmadev saw all these great personalities from different parts of the world, universe, started to arrive, he welcomed them. How? Desa kala vibhagavid. Who knows how to greet them according to time, place, and circumstance. Vishmadev, who was the best amongst the 8 Vasuds, received and welcomed all the great and powerful rishis who were assembled there, for he knew perfectly all the religious principles according to time and place. Here, one thing we have to take a note on that Bhishmadev, he is lying in the bed of arrows. That means he doesn't have the ability to stand and greet. He cannot give seat. He cannot offer even a glass of water, right? He cannot even, raise his hand. So he is in such a condition. But he could utter sweet words with hearty expressions. Yes, this is text number 199. So that means, Bachane kim daridrata. You may have nothing. When you meet with other Vaishnavas, you should at least exchange sweet words while greeting them, being nice to them. So this is perfectly an example shown by Vishmadev that even though he was in such a condition where he could not even move his hand, but he could utter some sweet words with hearty expressions, and all of them were well received. They also understood. One can perform one's duty by physical work, by mind, and by words. And he knew well how to utilize them in the proper place. And therefore, there was no difficulty for him to receive them, although physically unfit. When we are physically fit, we have a good physical condition. That time, we should not unnecessarily become lazy when we have to receive Vaishnavas or senior devotees. Anyway, so text number 10. Krishnam cha tat prabhavagya asinam jagadishwaram hridistham pujayamasa mayayopatta vigraham. Lord Sri Krishna is situated in everyone's heart, hridistham. Yet he manifests his transcendental form by his internal potency, mayayopatta vigraham. This very Lord was sitting before Bhishmadev. And since Bhishmadev knew of his glories, he worshipped him duly. That means Vishmadev is not confused about Krishna's position. He knows perfectly well that Krishna is the supreme personality of God who is situated in the heart of everyone. So here, Pujaya Masa Dharvagya. First of all, externally he greeted Krishna, and according to our Acharya, with his mind, he also meditated upon Krishna, who is situated in his heart, because he is Dharmagya. So he worshipped him duly. Pandaputranupasinam prasaya prema sangatam abhyachashtanuragasri andhibhutena chakshusha. You can imagine these Pandavas who are like Bhishma's son. Bhishmadev was very much affectionate to all the Pandavas. Now, Bhishmadev is lying on the bed of arrows. What a painful situation for the Pandavas it could be. So when they came and they saw, their feeling of love for Vishmadev was expressed by tears filling their eyes. And the sons of Maharaj Pandu were sitting silently nearby, overtaken with affection for their dying grandfather. Seeing this, Vishmadev congratulated them with feeling. There were tears of ecstasy in his eyes, for he was overwhelmed by love and affection. And Vishmadev started speaking, because he had seen how these Pandavas, who are the unalloyed devotees of Lord Krishna, had to go through terrible suffering in their life. And Vishmadev could not tolerate it. Obviously, he started crying, and he started speaking. Oho kastam aho nyayam jajjuyam dharmanandana jivitum narhata kristam vipra dharmachyutasraya. There is a very important verse starting with this next three verses. There is a lot of lesson given to us. Oho kastam ahanyayam jajjuya dharmanandana. You all are sons of religion personified. That means you don't deserve to suffer terribly. Oh, kastamahanyam. It is a terrible suffering and terrible injustice. You, good souls, suffer for being the sons of religion personified. You did not deserve to remain alive under those tribulations. Yet you were protected by the Brahmanas, God, and religion. Vipra dharma achyutasraya. That means, now the question can be asked, people like Pandavas who were under the shelter of Brahmanas, like Dhamya and others, Vipra, and they were following the religious principles perfectly, and they were under the shelter of Achyuta, Krishna. So why they had to go through this terrible suffering? Why such terrible injustice were inflicted onto the Pandavas? So when we see these things, many times we get confused. We don't find a correct answer for this, right? So let us see what Bhishmadev has to say, how he's describing. Prabhupada said in the purport, as long as a person is fully in fully in cooperation with the wishes of the Lord, guided by the bona fide Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas, and strictly following religious principles, one has no cause for despondency. However, trying the circumstances of life, Bhishmadev, as one of the authorities in the line, wanted to impress this point upon the Pandavas. So here the point is, Prabhupada is very clear about the mood of Bhishmadev. When Bhishmadev says that you did not deserve to suffer terribly, what does it mean? Prabhupada very clearly explains this. Those devotees in Krishna consciousness movement take exclusive guidance from the Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, and they follow the religious principles 100%. That means they follow the will of Krishna. Then whatever the circumstance may be, there might be some unpalatable situation. They may be faced with some difficulties. They may be avoided some injustice, but in any situation, there should not be any cause of despondency. How to understand this? Let us see further. Bhishmadev, he actually wanted to bring this point to the attention of the Pandavas. Therefore, he continued speaking, Samsthiteti rathe pando pritha bala prajavadhu jismat krite bahun klesan prapta tokovati muhu. Bhishmadev, he remembers how when Kunti, along with her children, had to go through very difficult time. He says, as far as my daughter-in-law, Kunti, is concerned, upon the great General Pandu's death, she became a widow with many children, and therefore she suffered greatly. And when you were grown up, she suffered a great deal also because of your actions. As we know, after Pandu's demise, Pandavas were entrusted to Dhritarashtra. And under inappropriate guidance of Dhritarashtra and his sons, Pandavas had to go through severe difficulties. And on those days, at that time, they were little, small children. And Kunti Maharani, she had to take care of them. And every time she had to go through difficulties. And she did not have anyone to share it. But Bhishmadev could understand this. That's why he tells that how my daughter-in-law had to suffer the great difficulties, I still remember. And she continues. Oh, so what you are saying? Sarvam kava kritam manye bhavata chodada priyam sopala jadvase loke sopala jadvase loko vayuriva ghanavane. So in two verses, this one and the next verse, Bhishmadev is telling that when the devotees, they face with difficulties, they should learn how to keep back their difficulties. Means how the devotees can deal with the difficult situation. Apparently speaking, it might be an injustice for the devotee, but when they face such injustice, how to deal with it, how to take it, how to face it, we will say it like that. Krishna therefore is saying that kala kritatpena swakam bhavati. Whenever we face with the grief-stricken condition, we can take it that it is the desire of the God. This is the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the lesson. And that's why he's saying In my opinion, this is all due to inevitable time, under whose control everyone is in every planet is carried, just as the clouds are carried by the wind. Cloud rests in the sky, and wind is also in the sky. Both are the energy of the Supreme Lord. But how, by the will of the Lord, the cloud is carried from one place to another by the wind, similarly, by the will of the Supreme Lord, nobody can surpass this inevitable time factor. So everybody has to go through it, but how they face it, how do they deal with it? That is the point of learning for us. Because as a devotee, many times we have seen, we do not know how to keep back these griefs that we face with in our day-to-day life, even in the devotee community also. Therefore, Bhishma Devi is saying, Jatra dharma suto raja gada pani vikodara krishna stri gandivam chapam srit krishna tapo vipat. How is it possible when there is, you are all dharma suta, sons of religion personified, and Raja, King Yudhishthir is there, and Gadapani Bikodara, Bhima, who is so strong, then Krishna Stri, Gandivam Chapam, Arjuna, who is Gandivdhari, he is there, and Sweet Krishna, and Krishna is your Surit. Very interesting. Surit means, I want to just read it out for you. Surit. Okay. Surit means one who does not expect any return, but he is wishing good to others. He is doing always good to others without expecting anything in return. He is Surit. In this world, even if some of your friends, they come to help you in your need, but you can see many times they expect something in return. But one who is a Surit, he, without expecting anything in return, he is ready to help and support. So here Bhishma Devi is saying that, oh, how wonderful is the influence of inevitable time. It is irreversible. Otherwise, how can there be reverses in the presence of Krishna, King Yudhishthir, the son of the demigod controlling religion, Bhima, the great fighter with a club, the great bowman Arjuna with his mighty weapon Gandiva, and above all, the Lord, the direct well-wisher of the Pandavas. So you can imagine in this situation, how can the Pandavas go through the terrible suffering? So therefore, Prabhupada said, Kala refers to Sarvam Kala Kritamani. Who is that Kala? Kala is the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And sometimes you say, oh, if this is the desire, does Krishna feel happy seeing his devotees are suffering, or Krishna, he inflicts pain to his devotee? That's how he enjoys. Right? Sometimes we are confused. So in this connection, the next few verses going to give us more insightful understanding. So here, Prabhupada writes, the Pandavas suffered so many practical reverses which can only be explained as due to the influence of Kala, inevitable time. Kala is identical with the Lord himself. Who is Kala? Daiva. That is Krishna. Krishna's willpower, Krishna's desire. what his desire is, why he desires to see his devotees suffering. We'll see that. And therefore, the influence of Kala indicates the inexplicable wish of the Lord himself. Nobody can define what Krishna desires to do. There is nothing to be lamented when a matter is beyond the control of any human being. Do you sometimes lament? Yes, we lament, right? Just in 1 hour time, we lose our patience. Not even 1 hour time, instantly. Something happens, boom, we are very upset. Huh? But Prabhupada is saying, when you know it is beyond my control, what is the point of getting angry? Huh? Many times we forget this philosophy. And that's why we become upset for little things and create misunderstanding. And even the devotee community also, sometimes I have seen some devotees that don't talk to each other for many days. And it creates so much confusion and misunderstanding. Just see, imagine this in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhishma is very clearly saying, and Prabhupada is saying, there is nothing to be lamented when a matter is beyond the control of any human being. Of course, you cannot practice this in a day. It requires time and sadhana. And then slowly, gradually, you gain this strength, and Krishna actually enables you. No yasya karhichi rajan puman veda vidhitsitam jad vijignyasaya yukta moihanti kapayopi. This is a very important verse. Even the great souls, they are puzzled to understand what Krishna desires to do. Moihanti kapayopi. Wise people who know Shastra even, they are bewildered. Huh? O king, no one can know the plan of the Lord. When we are faced with troubles and difficulties, we try to see why he is doing like this, why he is doing like that, why did he tell me like that, right? You go on thinking for many years. You may go on ascertaining the cause of your suffering, but nobody knows what actually Krishna wants to do. I mean to say, okay, let us complete this. Even though great philosophers inquire exhaustively, they are bewildered. You see what is happening. Many people say we are suffering the prarabdha. Okay. But Padma Puran says, prarabdha phalam papam kutam bejam phalam mukham kramena iva praliyati Vishnu bhakti pradatmana. And in some other verses it is said that as soon as one takes up the process of Krishna Bhakti, Vishnu Bhakti, all his prarabdhas are immediately burnt to ashes. Jathe dhansi samedhagni susamridhi jathe dhansi I'm forgetting that word. Just like when we lit fire to a pile of wood, they are burnt to ashes. Similarly, when one takes up the process of Krishna Bhakti, all these sins which are accumulated like mountains, they are burnt to ashes. So that means still devotees suffer prarabdha? No. So some people, they say, no, there is no prarabdha. Karmani nirdhati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. Those who have taken Krishna Bhakti, the karma is burnt out. So what is the cause? The cause is, as a devotee, we should always try to see Krishna's hand. This one thing you remember in this today's class. Definitely, if you are sincerely practicing your Krishna Bhakti, being an exclusive devotee of Lord Krishna, dedicating all your activities to Krishna, then when you are facing some difficulties or apparently speaking some injustice is being awarded to you, You, instead of trying to blame others, try to see Krishna's hand in such circumstance. Means what Krishna wants in this connection. Krishna definitely wants to relate to his devotees. He wants to take care of his devotees personally. So he is there with us. Prabhupada is giving a very beautiful purport. Let me read. The bewilderment of Maharaj Yudhishthir over his past sinful acts and the resultant sufferings, etc., is completely negated by the great authority Vishnu, one of the 12 authorized persons. See? The best policy is simply abide by, okay, let me continue reading. Bhishma wanted to impress upon Maharaj Yudhishthir that since time immemorial, no one, including such demigods as Shiva and Brahma, could ascertain the real plan of the Lord. So, what can we understand about it? It is unless also to inquire about it. Even the exhaustive philosophical inquiries of sages cannot ascertain the plan of the Lord. The best policy is simply to abide by the orders of the Lord without argument. My dear devotee, in our Krishna consciousness movement, every devotee has some set of responsibility. When you carry out your service in our Krishna consciousness movement, you have to interact with other devotees, right? You cannot be alone. And then when you are coming with in interaction with other devotees, many times that is misunderstanding. Many times you will find like, why this injustice have been given to me? And instead of trying to find fault or putting a blame on others, the best course of action should be that without going into any argument or putting blame on others, we should simply see what Krishna wants from me or why Krishna is doing like this to me. What is his plan? Many times you will see, because we have got limited understanding and also our Krishna conscious practice is not matured enough, we will still remain confused. So when you are not able to understand what actually Krishna desires, then what you have to do, whatever service have been assigned to you, you just sincerely continue doing your service. That's what Prabhupada is saying. The best policy is simply to abide by the orders of the Lord without argument. Order of the Lord means already you have been given some service. And while executing that service, you see what Guru Maharaj have instructed you. What Prabhupada is speaking in the purport. That is Krishna's instruction. That is guidance coming to us. So follow that, continue. And sometimes if it is becoming too much, you need to talk to your near and dear one in Krishna consciousness. Every devotee has friends. You can discuss with them. This is what is happening. He may also give you some good solution. And if he is speaking something like, oh, this person, that person, he is not a correct person. But sometimes it becomes very difficult also as a conditioned soul. But therefore, we are studying this Bhagavatam. What is this Bhagavatam study? Bhagavatam study is not like reading a piece of newspaper or a kind of history book or a novel book. No, Bhagavatam is meant to do the operation in our life. Operation means you have to cut, there will be a pen, and you have to bear the pen. So all these teachings are there in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam to benefit us, to refine our consciousness, how to see things from proper perspective, so that we know how to deal with the situation at the correct time. Therefore, Bhagavatam study should not be done in a very casual manner, or whatever person is very good. I feel this is very good for me. It's nice to hear. Speaking something what I like to hear, but that person what is speaking I don't like. That's why I am not interested to hear about that, or I don't want to discuss about that. No. Prabhupada says from the beginning of this first canto, if we sincerely hear and what we hear, we try to implement, you can see your taste for Krishna, Krishna's service, Krishna consciousness is gradually increasing. And you can find a lot of satisfaction in yourself. Why I am saying this, you see, some or other we are always bound. We are never free. Either you take the rope of Krishna's instruction and bind yourself to go towards happiness, or on the other hand, you can say, if you don't accept the rope-like Krishna's instruction to keep yourself bound under his lotus feet, then you will be forced to be bound by Krishna's external energy. And that binding will bring you suffering. If you choose the rope-like Krishna's instruction to keep you bound at the lotus feet of Krishna, that will give you happiness. So in either situation, you should be bound. Either you choose to be bound by the rope-like instructions of Krishna and remain happy, or you, by discarding Krishna's instructions, leading a so-called independent life, you choose to remain bound by Krishna's external energy and continue to suffer. Therefore, many times in our life, when reversal situations arises, even if we are not able to ascertain what is the cause of my suffering, with our limited understanding, we should just simply abide by Krishna's instructions and remain fixed in our services for Krishna. That will be the best solace for us. So maybe we should take question now, because we are going to end. Okay, maybe one more verse, let us read. This verse also. Tasmadidam daivatantram vyavasya bharatarsabha tasyano vihito natho pahi prajaprabho. Now he is saying, therefore, see, this is the conclusion actually. This is text number 17. Text number 17. Now, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Bhishmadev is instructing Yudhishthira, or best among the descendants of Bharata, Yudhishthira. I maintain, therefore, that all this is within the plan of the Lord. Accepting the inconceivable plan of the Lord, you must follow it. That means he's saying, now you are the king, you must do your duty. You are now the appointed administrative head, and my Lord, you should now take care of those subjects who are now rendered helpless. So here Yudhishthira Maharaj has the duty as a king to take care of the subjects who are rendered helpless after Kurukshetra battle. So Bhishmadev is saying, don't worry, you just continue your service for Krishna. So similarly, the instruction for us remains in this connection is that many a time in our life situation, in Krishna conscious practices, we are confused. We still do not know what is the cause of some unpredictable situation that I am facing. But you just simply continue carrying out your responsibility by following Shastra and under the shelter of Vaishnavas. Vipra dharma chutasraya. You know what is your dharma? Means your service to Krishna, that is our dharma. And then Guru Maharaj is there, and you follow Krishna's advice in form of reading Bhaktivedanta purports. That's how we should lead our life. And you can see, if you continue like that, Shitosna Sukha Dukha Dagamo Payam Nityastam Titiksha Shobha. You will learn how to tolerate the happiness and distress, full situations, just like summer and cold season, they come and go. You will gain that capacity if you have understood this understanding of Vishmadev, instruction of Vishmadev. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I think let us take questions from you now. If anybody has any question or comment, we can look into that. Sri Garva Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Dharpana. Very nice lecture. How we know if we are facing the difficulties, this is the desire of Lord Prabhu.
No, okay. If you say this is desire of the Lord, many times you run into frustration.
Yes.
What you should see is what Krishna wants me to do here in this connection to become more Krishna conscious. How can I increase my love for him in this situation? Not that I try to find fault with his devotees. Why this devotee? His devotee, of course, he's Vaishnava. Why is behaving like this? He doesn't know the Vaishnava etiquette. Many times we jump into this conclusion. Is this the way Vaishnava should react? Is this the way Vaishnava should work? I mean to say, to do the work, whatever. Is it the word of the Vaishnava? No. Instead of saying that, oh, Krishna is giving me an opportunity where I can show my loving reciprocation to him. Maybe in this situation, what he wants me to do, let me find out. And many times what happens is, if you are filled with negative thought, you yourself will not be able to find a kind of an answer. But like Veda Guhya Tamam Shiva, you'll see, only Shiva, Kapiga, they know. Not everybody can understand, because Asya Anubhava is coming afterwards. So this Anubhava of the Lord, Anubhava means how Lord is trying to bring you closer to him, or what he is trying to do. You have to try to see Krishna's hand from the positive perspective. That requires a lot of spiritual maturity, Prabhu. And for which you need to take the help of some senior devotees who are similarly inclined or understand the situation. But also you have to be very practical, that without being sentimental, whatever way you see Krishna's hand, that should be acceptable to you, not on the philosophical level. If you are not able to take the solution, and you may become devastated. So this, looking at Krishna's hand in our life has to be done properly. There is no answer for, there is no particular answer that, this is a static answer you can apply in any situation. Oh, Krishna's hand. Wow, how do you see Krishna's hand? How this situation is helping you to become more Krishna conscious? Where are the opportunity for you to develop your love for Krishna in this situation? You look into all those things. Then you will be able to find Krishna's hand there. Otherwise, just by speaking Krishna's hand, you will become more frustrated, because you are not able to find the shelter. The shelter is how Krishna wants me to become closer to him. How Krishna wants, maybe Krishna testing me to see my patience, how I deal with the devotees in such kind of provocating situations. This is how he wants me to increase my love towards his devotees? How am I going to increase my love towards his devotees? How am I going to increase my love to service? How can I do better service for Krishna? What is Krishna's plan behind? So you have to kind of find Krishna's hand in all these situations. I don't know, actually, a few things I said, but from case to case, we have to see where is Krishna's hand. Does it make sense, Prabhu, Garba Prabhu?
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Sahadev Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, thank you. Prabhuji, I'm so thankful to participate in this class today, because even though we recently discussed this chapter in one forum, that I'm realizing so much more in today's class as you presented it. But I have one question. That is, I need clarification, I should say, about seeing Krishna's hands in everything, especially things that are beyond what we can do to correct. And I think you gave some of the answer I need to have in the question the first devotee asked. And that is, I think, and this is how I try to live my life as trying to be a devotee, that when somebody does something to me that I feel I do not like, or I feel insulted, I feel humiliated, I don't take it serious. I'm not a very advanced devotee, but I don't take it very serious. I think that, well, Krishna wants me to learn something from this. But it's difficult for me to sit silent when somebody is doing something wrong to another devotee.
Yes.
And at that time, I may be seen as a very disrespectful person or whatever, but I just can't see it. Please help me if it's appropriate. Of course, I try also not to go overboard, that I do not respect the person who is committing whatever misbehaviors to the other devotee, but I stand up to the person and let him know that what you did was not right. Please help. Hare Krishna.
You see, there are ways to correct a Vaishnava. First of all, one who is chanting Krishna's holy name, we should know that he is a Vaishnava. Then when we are going to talk to him, especially in this scenario, you are saying that what this devotee is doing is not correct, we need to rectify him. Rectifying a Vaishnava does not mean chastising him or humiliating him. So first of all, we have to see whether I myself in a position to correct him, whether he will be happy to receive my corrections, measures or not. First of all, we have to see ourselves, our position. If I am in a position, then the second thing we need to take a consideration that whether this is a correct forum to intervene and start giving him some advice that you don't do like this, you do this. For example, if he is in an authoritative position, he might have done something wrong and he is with his juniors, and at that time you start, talking to him, he may not be able to take it. So you have to find the correct time, when to talk, then how to talk, so that he will see that you are really compassionate to him and you are not his enemy, neither you are trying to find fault with him, nor you are trying to take his position away. So you have to kind of, give him a feeling that you are his true well-wisher. Then he might listen to you. On the other hand, if he is not your friend or you are not in a position to talk to him directly, then what you have to do? You have to take shelter of some senior Vaishnavas whom he might listen to or he may have been listening to. Okay. Sometimes you may need to talk to some senior Vaishnavas. Maybe, if there is no other way, you have to do some service to them so that you win their heart and then you can reveal your kind of mind to them. So there are different ways we have to deal with the situations. There is no one guideline which will be applicable to all situations. Does it make sense, Prabhu?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much. I guess it's based on time, place, and circumstance. But what I really got the most is like maybe a senior devotee sitting with junior devotees and going to correct him. That is not the
Yes.
appropriate time, appropriate place. So thank you so much. Thank you.
See, these are all general things. Again, when it comes to behavior, let me tell you, I can share something. Sometimes what happens is, okay, one devotee, he is in a senior most position, okay, and then all of a sudden he tries to intervene in somebody else's life using his position, and he starts speaking, I am so and so, or no, I am temple president, or I am general secretary, or I am GVC, whatever. That means he's, psychologically he's trying to create a pressure that whatever I say, just follow. Maybe he has his authority. And why am I directly instructing him without going through the, authority channel? That's not correct also. Okay, if you find he has done something, maybe you need to, help him. That is not the correct form. That's how the correct forum has to all be followed. So, as I said, it will depend on what case. We have to make case study separately and give approach accordingly, without being biased by our position. Murali, Govind Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Thank you very much for your nectarian class. Today, I have seen that some 3-4 very profound lessons for all of us, for devotees. Like whatever circumstances are there, we should be very, very faithful to the Lord and our gurus and shastras, everything. Prabhuji, I have a small confusion. Like if time is Krishna, if everything is like any destruction or any manifestation, if it is Krishna, there are some people, when we go and preach them about this Bhagavad Gita or ISKCON or something, they say whether we are destined to hear this or whether we have destined to follow this, we really do not know. Let that time comes. What does it mean? That let that time comes means. Is it their free will they are misusing? Or I am not able to effectively convince them?
No. Definitely they are misusing their independence. What do you mean by time come? Time is already here now. Krishna wants everybody to serve him.
Yes.
This is your duty actually. Jiver Swarupa Nitya Krishna Das. You are giving him Bhagavad Gita, asking him to take up Krishna consciousness, chant Krishna's holy name, accept prasadam, or come, you are inviting him to come to temple for Sunday program, or time will come. What do you mean by time? This is the time.
Because for new people, no, Prabhuji, as we dive deep into this kind of spirituality and wonderful and profound lectures, yes, definitely we know everything. But for the new people, I'm finding it a bit difficult to bring them into this process.
Now, what you have to do is, you have to, first of all, try to become friend to
Right.
them. Okay? When you develop friendship, then these people will feel like you are a trustworthy man who can be shared with their personal life difficulties or experiences. And sometimes you have to really see how you can give them a very good piece of advice to win their confidence.
Yes.
And then after that, when you say something, like, let me tell you, this is kind of my personal example actually. This time when I went to Vrindavan, for the first time in my life, I met with a guest there. And we are talking, just normal talking. They are not following Krishna consciousness actually so much. This lady was more inclined to follow Sai Baba. He clearly told me, say, Prabhu, I have more inclination for Sai Baba. I find shelter at him, and whenever I am in difficulty, I remember him, and I can see my difficulties are being removed. So anyway, I didn't tell any negative point about Sai Baba, but I just spoke to him in general about Krishna consciousness and all. Some other, she liked it. Just yesterday, she told me, she said, Prabhu, really, after I spoke to you, I am kind of following, and I find little, I can see there's a, way for me in Krishna consciousness.
Wonderful, very well.
And I want to kind of talk to you something more.
Okay.
What I mean to say is, you don't act on a superficial platform. Be a sincere well-wisher of other people.
Right.
Krishna is there in your heart. Krishna is there in their heart also. When you approach with sincerity, Krishna will make it happen, you will see. But we don't have to be so much, expectant about the result of my preaching one. What to do about my preaching? Well, Krishna is preaching. I am not preaching. And be sincere. Krishna will guide you.
Right.
Talk to senior devotees also. There also sometimes when you face with some particular situation, life experience, you can discuss with senior members, and they can also enlighten you. They will show you some kind of path.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. And my one more small clarification is required from you, Prabhuji, for my personal listing application. Even in our spiritual life also, if there are some ups and downs, is it due to the influence of the time factor or lack of some kind of sincere endeavors in our practice and reading scriptures, understanding and apply them practically into our lives?
The principle here is when a devotee is an exclusive devotee of Krishna, definitely this is Krishna's plan. And in this verse says, na Vishnu prarabdha phalam papam putam bijam phalannukam pramena iva praliyeta Vishnu bhakti ratatmanam. If I am a mixed devotee, then sometimes I am yet to kind of deal with my prarabdhas. Okay, so it depends on the severity of our Krishna conscious practices. Therefore, Krishna says, you remember this verse, Je jatha mam prapadyante. According to the degree of our surrender, he reciprocates. So, in this situation, It can be yes, it can be no.
Yeah.
That you have to assess yourself, because I don't know, very much, close. I don't know you very closely, to be honest. So in that situation, um, you have to see how is your practice is going, and yes, maybe this is Krishna's hand, or if not, maybe there is something lacking. Okay, I have to kind of rectify myself. Then you will see sadhana practice is like you have started your journey. Now you are in which gear? First gear, second gear, third gear. You keep on increasing your gear.
Yes, Prabhuji. Because I still remember your instructions during our Bhakti Sastri course. You keep on reading Srimad Bhagavatam daily, at least minimum one sloka. You advised me. I still remember, and I am relishing that, Prabhuji, because minimum 10 slokas every day I am reciting, and I ask my wife also to listen. In our local Telugu language, I explain her also. So it is really, Prabhuji, as you said, I didn't consider it very seriously in the beginning, but you instructed me some 3 or 4 times, if you remember. Murli Govind Prabhu, you have to read Bhagavatam, then only you speak to me. Then you will realize what is the importance of my instructions. Karke. Then I realized, Prabhuji, it's very nice, because as you keep on reading, I am developing that taste, and I'm relishing each and every verse translation and purpose by Srila Prabhupada. What I am doing, I am just any important points, I am keeping a track and noting it in a separate book. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Prabhu, you are reading, you see, Krishna is Bhagavad. Krishna is not different from Bhagavatam, right? Krishna
Yes.
Nama Bhagavate Dharma Jnana Devesha Klonashtadasvaneshta Pranarkotimodita. So if Krishna is Bhagavatam himself, and you take him in that way, and you kind of relate to him, you will see Krishna will reciprocate with you directly in due course. You can see it.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Please kindly bless me and keep me in your prayers.
It has happened in the life of many, sincere souls, many sincere devotees, Vaishnavas. There are plenty of, evidences. So in that way, we need to have faith on this process and continue.
Yes.
Krishna will bless you.
Because next week, me and my god sister, we are going to a new place. It's a small village. We don't know really what is the kind of audience also there, but one person who was associated with our ISKCON, he invited us. You just speak to the people. They don't know anything.
Yeah.
Even some parts of that village is quite dominated by Christians also. Now I am really praying to the Lord Krishna's mercy and really asking your mercy also, Prabhuji, because we just wanted to go and see there the pulse of the audience, and then we will try to teach them simple lessons. Started with Bhagavad Gita and all.
Which place in South India?
It is close to Visakhapatnam, Prabhuji, about 25 kilometers from Visakhapatnam, a small village. There is a small Krishna temple. It is not our ISKCON temple. It is a Krishna's temple. So they invited us. I am just praying, Prabhuji, because it's a very remote place. So I'm going there with my god sister.
Okay. Continue your journey. Krishna will protect you and give you.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Okay, so Silas Prabhu, Silas Govindia.
Hare Krishna Guruji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Prabhupada. Thank you once again for another wonderful class. Actually, I wanted to repeat a little bit of the glorification of this particular section that our other devotees have already done, Murli Govind Prabhu and Sadhya Prabhu, that this is probably amongst the most important part of the lessons that devotees need to learn in order to develop the maturity in devotional service in terms of understanding Krishna's hand in in our everyday life. I mean, we have an abundance of experience of reversals and tests, but because of our immaturity at the time and going through it, of course, you don't realize and understand it. You get angry, and why is Krishna doing this? But in each and every situation in our lives, when we look back, we see how that event has shaped our lives for the better, to bring us closer to Krishna, to develop our Krishna consciousness in a deeper fashion. At the time, of course, we do surrender, but it doesn't, human nature is, certainly for immature devotees like myself, human nature is still, he's saying, oh, Krishna, come on, enough now. But we learned the lesson that he will give you as much as you can take. That is for sure. And he finds a way through it as well. I mean, I just wanted to share gratitude. This is a really important section. I think it helps us to develop and mature our devotional service. Everything else is of course there, but if this one thing isn't there, and if we can't realize and recognize Krishna's hand in everything that happens in our lives, then actually the crux of everything else, it remains philosophy. It's not practical implementation of devotional service. So thank you again. It's an important section. I have a question though.
Revolting in every situation is not a sign of a Vaishnava. We need to learn how we can improve our sadhana standard. That will bring maturity to us. If we are not geared to improve our sadhana practice, how much intelligent person you may be, how much shastra you know may be, probably at the end of the day, that may not be very, very helpful. And also to remain in good association is also a very, very important factor. These things gives us strength, actually, that helps us to come to this point where you are able to take this as a Krishna's mercy, Krishna's blessing, or what Krishna is planning to do. Maybe he has some plan for you to come closer to him, as you said. So this first canto, I can tell you, you see, you said, no, this is a very important instruction we are reading today. See, first two canto, first canto and second canto, they are said Pada Padma. Prabhu, these two canto, if we read thoroughly and understand the principles and apply it, I can tell you, after this, you will see your spiritual journey and the understanding of the rest of the cantos in Bhagavatam becomes so relishing. You can feel it. But you have to give time in the beginning to get rid of all these inauspiciousness that we have been carrying for many, many lifetimes. And this study of first two cantos from Bhagavatam, I can assure you, has the capacity to bless every conditioned soul to come out of their challenging situation in their life. I'm very happy and thankful to the devotees who are sincerely coming and reading this first canto with us. And I don't know whether helping or not, but if it is helping, please continue. You will see Krishna will definitely, take our side. That much I can tell. Because Krishna never betrays devotees. Never. Krishna never betrays his devotees. He may play with his devotees to release his relationship. That's a different thing. That is not a betrayal. Krishna never betrays devotees. Never. Never. Krishna never betrays his devotees. We need to understand this. Krishna is a person. He is always looking into to the comfort of his devotees, for sure.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
When one comes to the point where you recognize Krishna's hand in reversals that you may be going through, I find it sometimes difficult to interpret the message and the lesson we're supposed to learn from this. Do we for instance, if you're endeavoring in doing something that might create a profit that you can use for Krishna's service, but that goes wrong and it doesn't go to plan, and things go to Krishna's plan, not to your plan. And what do we, do we double up and continue hitting our, or do we say, no, Krishna's hand is that he wants us not to do this? It's very difficult. Sometimes I've endeavored and doubled up the endeavor to think, okay, Krishna is testing you, so maybe I have to double up my endeavor. But you don't know whether he's saying, you foolish guy, I want you to stop. That's why I'm putting these impediments in your, don't double up, stop. You don't know which way the lesson is supposed to be. How do we interpret Krishna's signals here? It is so difficult sometimes, Prabhuji, to work out, am I supposed to do this now or am I supposed to do that? How do we learn the lesson?
Dasa says, no, Asyanu Bhavam, Bhagavan Veda Guhyatamam Shiva, Devarsi Nal Sakshat Bhagavan Kapila. Not everybody can understand Krishna's hand, Silas Prabhu. That is why I said that particularly in this question, the confusion is I am putting so much of effort to double the kind of profit or my business, whatever, my income. But how much I try is not happening. Is there so that Krishna wants me to give up? Or how to understand what is Krishna's hand here? How? What is his desire? So many times you will not be able to find a correct answer because Anubhav. Okay, then you need to talk to your Guru at that time. And Guru means whatever Guru says, that's it. You don't look back. Oh, Guru Maharaj said me to stop it now. I'm suffering. I don't have, I used to eat Rajbhog Prasadam every day, but now I am, I don't know, only getting spinach and rice. Rather, it's a correct decision that Guru Maharaj gave me. Maybe I could have tried better, right? No. You have to kind of accept somebody as Krishna's representative to help you to understand or see how Krishna's hand is working in this situation. Because how much you try, you will not be able to find the solution problem. Therefore, you have to continue practicing your dharma. Where is that coming? Vipra dharma chutasvaya. The dharma has to be instructed by Guru, that is Vaishnava. And when Guru is saying it is already under the shelter of Achyuta, then you just take it easy. This is what my life is. Okay, Krishna, you want to enjoy, you want to play with me, let us play together. Okay, if you want, you'll be satisfied to see me like this. Okay, that's good. I accept it. Admit it. Accepting this as a fact of life. Then you will see, you will become more relaxed and your need. I mean to say, you see, there are two paths. One is Pravritti Marga and Nivritti Marga. First of all, the Nivritti Marga principle was given. Then Pravritti Marga. Many people, they put importance to Pravritti Marga, whether it's the path of enjoyment. They want to remain in comfort zone, that practice. But why do that? Ultimately, that has to lead to Nivritti Marga. So in situations where I am kind of, given an opportunity or I am being, forced into that situation, okay, I take this Krishna's mercy, what to do, okay. So these understandings has to be clear. That's why Sadhu Sangha is very important and guidance from a bona fide Guru.
And that can be bona fide Siksha or Diksha, yes? It can be Shiksha Guru as well. It can be coming from a Shiksha Guru as well. They are not necessarily Diksha Guru.
Yeah. Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru are same.
Okay.
But the understanding is like, you have to be in agreement that you accept him as a Shiksha Guru, this person also accept, and in that way, there must be a connection, relationship. Then only it will work. Not that, anybody can. No, it doesn't happen like that. It's a serious business.
Okay, I think I couldn't attend last week's live question session, so I listened to the class, and Sadev Prabhu very nicely read my mind because I wasn't there present, and he requested everyone on the group to please, this is such an important service that Padmanayana Prabhu and the Mayapur Institute are doing to all of us. We're all sitting here benefiting free of charge from their valuable time. We must all also reciprocate and try and do something, whatever we can, however small, large, whatever our heart is, to assist Padmanayana Prabhu in financial terms and in any other terms, because it is such an important service that he is doing. I'm attending 3, 4, 5 classes, I think, are all free of charge. And they're lengthy, time-consuming classes that these elevated souls are giving up to give to us with nothing in return apart from our gratitude. So we should reciprocate with our gratitude, not only with our thanks, but also in this world. Unfortunately, Lakshmi is required for service as well, and we should try and reciprocate. If my humble request to all the devotees on the call, please do whatever we can to assist as well, because the more we can assist them, the more they can do this sort of service for us more freely and more with heart and without having worries, so anxiety. So please, if I can request everyone, I'm sorry I'm doing so, but please, if everyone could assist, I think it would be a great service to Srila Prabhupada's movement to assist Padmanayana Prabhu and the Mayapur Institute with Lakshmi. So thank you. Hare Krishna.
Sailesh Prabhu, thank you so much for bringing this very good idea. Let us all do that. See, only thing, this group only admins can post any messages and all. Prabhuji, with due apologies from Padmanayana Prabhu, I'm just speaking, I'm just taking liberty. So, Sailesh Prabhu, you know my number?
No, Prabhuji, I don't. If you can message it to me or put it in the group, I don't know how to get your.
Okay. And Sailesh Prabhu, one more thing I just wanted to tell you, as you mentioned just now with Padmanayana Prabhu, that should we take instructions only from our Diksha Guru or Siksha Gurus? I just wanted to share one wonderful thing. After Padmanayana Prabhu gave me that advice to read Srimad Bhagavatam every day, we happened to meet our Guru Maharaj virtually in one of the June classes. I had asked him some other question, but he also mentioned that you chant your round sincerely and you read Srimad Bhagavatam every day. This is my instruction to you. Your life, your spiritual life will be very, very beautiful, he mentioned. Padmanayana Prabhu, thank you very much once again for all your mercy on us. And as Sailesh Prabhu said, this is a wonderful seva which we are getting from you, Prabhu. And this is priceless actually. Whatever we do, it all counts as priceless only. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
We are very happy, Prabhu. I can tell you from Mayapur Institute side, my desire is, let us give Bhagavatam to the devotees, and Bhagavatam can actually help, shape our life. So we are trying to do this service, and if you all can, provide some support, it's helpful also. And
Sure,
because
sure.
To render in Mayapur itself.
Yes, Prabhu.
So if you can support in any way, that will be very, very well accepted and appreciated. And I pray to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to bless you all so that we can, develop this team spirit to help each other in our Krishna consciousness and service to Guru and Gauranga.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving us this wonderful opportunity to get some services from Mayapur Institute. So like you mentioned, since we are getting so much from all of you, in fact, I am in 4 courses and some more devotees maybe in some other courses also, like 6, 8 also. So every day is almost, we are occupied. And you are contributing your valuable time, Prabhuji. I know how pressed you are. Some hard times also I have observed earlier during our Bhakti Shastri course. So it is all your real, that compassion which is coming from the parampara. And when we look at you sitting in that room, somehow, I don't know if I am exaggerating, I feel Prabhupada is in front of us, junior Prabhupada.
Please bless me, Prabhu. Please pray for me to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so that I can be in proper consciousness to do this service. I do not know how Prabhupada has given this service to me, but somehow that this service is there on my shoulder. And Mayapur management also, they recently instructed me to take up more responsibility to bring these three institutions, Mayapur Institute, Mayapur Academy, Kirtan Academy, and form this beautiful campus, create the facility for devotees to come and study sincerely to help manifest Prabhupada's desire in Mayapur. So I have a big responsibility, and I'm trying, in an honest way. If you all can, come together, that would be really, really,
Sure, Prabhuji, sure. And I just wanted to share one more thing also, Prabhuji. Recently, I was talking to one of our God brothers. When I mentioned that I did Bhakti Shastri from Mayapur Institute, virtual course for about 3.5 months to 4 months, I think. He says, oh, they have very tough standards. How did you complete it? Then I told them, if you just come and sit in the virtual class and listen to the lectures, what they say, it's very easy. For all of us, it's a cakewalk. I never felt it is a burden or it's very tough syllabus or tough standard. I never felt it, Prabhu. But your contribution speaks like that in other areas and in the vision of all other devotees. Bapre, we don't want to go to Mayapur Institute.
Okay, thank you.
But that is the kind of discipline you have inculcated in all the devotees who are attending these courses, Prabhu, from Mayapur Institute. Really, I am very, 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 very thankful to all of you, grateful to all of you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Malika Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
I think there is one more devotee who has raised his hand. I think we have taken so much of time.
Yes.
Your valuable time.
I think we tend to hog a lot of the time, so sorry.
Kunal Prabhu, you are there? Maybe he is having internet connection issue, I think. Sometimes he is there, sometimes he is not there. His father is actually serving in Mayapur Institute with me. This Kunal.
Haribol, great Prabhu, great service.
He is his son. I'm very close to them. This boy, he keeps coming every week. Kunalji, are you there? I think he is not there. Anyway, you can talk to him separately. Thank you, dear devotees, for creating this fire to... Oh, Priyatam Gaurangi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, I agree with what the Prabhuji said. We can all get together and, share some Lakshmi. So to get into action, let one of the Prabhuji put his number, and whoever is interested can just take down the number, and we can contact him, form a group, and let's do what needs to be done. So if you don't end the meeting, I would request you, please just give us like 2-3 minutes. Let one of the Prabhuji put their number, and we can take down his number. Would that be okay, Prabhuji?
Yeah, you take the lead. I meant to say Muli Govind Prabhu is there, Salas Prabhu is there, Sahadev Prabhu is there. You become volunteer and you want to support, I will be there. But whenever you ask anything from my side, I will be giving you. And if you can help, that will be really, I need some support, Prabhu. Let me be honest with you, because I have to run this show. So please, take your lead, and whoever is volunteering, I don't mind. Mind.
So Prabhuji, can you please share your number in the group? And I would request all the devotees, whoever's interested, it's not mandatory. Let's come together and do something together. Thank you so much. Prabhu, please share your number in the group if you don't mind.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I just shared my number. We'll be in touch
Okay.
with Sailesh Govind Prabhu also.
Okay, wonderful.
We all will
Thank
do,
you.
Mataji, no problem. Let us take a
Yes.
forward step in this direction. Huh?
Yes, Prabhuji.
I think all your numbers will be there in our Bhagavata Prabha group.
Yeah, but not everyone has, put their name. So whoever's here can just take a screenshot and just
Okay.
save the number, and then we can coordinate.
Oh, that is fine, Mataji. That is very fine.
Yes, thank you. I've saved the number.
We will do it immediately, because without any further, of course, Padmanayana Prabhu will not leave us. Itna jaldi to nahi chhodenge wo. But
He's very
I'll do my
kind.
service.
He's very kind. So, Shailesh Prabhu or Murli Govind Prabhu, would one of you all create a group? How would we go ahead?
Sure.
Okay. You all
I'll
can
keep
create
a
group.
message today itself.
Sure.
I will see to what extent, what are the numbers available with the names of devotees.
Yes.
I'll form a group and we will coordinate, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam. Padmanayana Prabhu, thank you very much for everything.
I don't know how to, reciprocate with you all, but this much I can share that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very merciful. And as you're going to assist me in the service to Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, definitely this new year, this will come from start of new year. And I pray to Nrsingadev to give you all protection, and may Gauranga Singha give you the test in your Krishna consciousness.
See, that's what Krishna's greatness, Prabhu. Whatever desire is there inside a mind of a devotee or inside the heart of a devotee, other devotee will immediately recognize it and respond to it, also reciprocate to it. I was thinking actually these classes will go for a long time. So how best we can help the Mayapur Institute karke, I was just thinking. So it so happened that today Prabhuji has come with that proposal, and Mataji also endorsed that appropriately. So we all will do, Prabhuji. Please. Thank you very much.
Hey, don't speak like this. This is not the lotus feet of Padmanayana. No. This is for the service.
Institute, Prabhu. Yes.
Yeah. This is not for me. Please don't misunderstand.
No. It is
Yes, Prabhuji, but you just use it for service, knowing you, because we've been associating, and so it's just for service.
This is to help me Prabhupada's mission.
Yes, Prabhuji.
We are all soldiers, Prabhu, in the Prabhupada's army.
Yes.
You are at present our chief commander.
Okay. Thank you, Murali Govind Prabhu and all the devotees. Let us come together to help each other more and more in Krishna consciousness.
Sure, Prabhuji. Sure. Thank you so much.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.
Bharat bin Ali Atavado.
Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpataru yascha kripa
Sindhu Bhyavacha Patitanam Pavanam Vaishnavibhyam Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
It gaze Padmanayana Prabhu ki Jai ho.
Hare Krishna.